Hey, it's Frankie here, and in this video we're going to talk about how to write Facebook ads that convert like fucking crazy. So let me tell you, I've actually been very fortunate in my life to write Facebook ads sometimes that convert the first time. By the way, we're with my lady and my two monsters running around exploring in the German forest. And I've created Facebook ads that, and I'm not saying this is the case all the time, but I've created ads that converted like crazy the very first time, like the very first test, which is unusual for how most people get to converting ads. In fact, what they get to, or how they create converting ads, is usually to split test all kinds of images and all kinds of, targeting and copy and all those things. And I'm not saying they don't matter, but Perry Marshall's a very wise marketer who once said that most people worry about the wrong things, in the sense he compares it to forest leaves trees. Forest being the really big things, trees being the kind of medium-sized things, and leaves, there's my monsters, where'd they go? Leaves being the small details, right? So like an example of this is if you split test the button on your website, should I use an orange button or a red button or a blue button? It'll make a difference. But that's kind of like a leaf. It's a very small minor detail that's not gonna like all of a sudden get really crazy awesome conversions. Then I see a lot of people get really obsessed about the tech stuff in Facebook. You know, how much should we increase our spending per day? What's the correct amount? My audience size is this much. And I'm not saying those things don't matter. In fact, they're kind of like trees. But I'll tell you, before you do any of those things, often the most important thing is the big thing. Oh my God, look at this. This is Supermom over here, by the way. Yeah, we're gonna go see a horse. Ein Pferdchen. So sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second there. You guys are just gonna have to hang out with me while I remember it. So the big idea is actually the people. And one of the biggest things you can do to make an ad that works really well is go into some place where your audience already has discussions and put these two things up. I'll give you an example of this, okay? March 2020, before you could, I did this organically, so this wasn't an ad, but the same principle applies. I went into a group of my people and I found one of the things everybody was discussing, that how since coronavirus started, they all lost clients. You know, I lost a whole bunch of clients. And so I started working on a free report that was just 8 pages long, but it was a solution for like how to get back clients and alternative payment structures that work in kind of like a tricky economy with lockdowns and shutdowns and things like that. And not surprisingly, it worked. Hello. It worked right away. And I knew it would. And I'll tell you the reason why I knew it would is because it already had like hundreds of comments and hundreds of likes, and I could see already that just from listening that it was already a big issue in my marketplace. By the way, I don't know if you guys can see, but we got a horse back there over somewhere on that side. There we go. My kids love horses. They love animals. So yeah, let's go say hello to the horse. So if you want to write like Facebook ads that convert, it's not actually going to come down to the tech and the buttons like most people think. It's going to come down to the forest is your offer that you make to the people that you're going to make. And I'll tell you, I found that there's 4 things in Facebook that really matter more than anything else. And if you really listen to those things, you can write ads that convert like crazy the first time. So one of those, obviously, is your targeting. Who you show ads to. And there's some shortcuts for that, and I'll make some other videos on that. Second thing is your actual message. Third is obviously the image. But I'll tell you the thing that matters most is the offer you're making for the freebie thing. I'll give you an example so you can see that it's not just like a one-time thing. In the lawyer space, I talk to a lot of lawyers, and they would tell me about 80% of the time that the only thing that ever worked for them, the only thing they ever believed in, were referrals. Yeah, I see the car coming. And then I would ask them, like, what do you do to make referrals happen on purpose? And 80% of the time they would say nothing. I just do a good job and people refer me. And I said, well, you know, you could do things on purpose. So one of the things I made is a little checklist that had like the 26 things you can do that I learned from other law practices to make referrals happen on purpose. And what you'll find is when you do that, you can actually write ads that convert the first time. And there's a little amazing metaphor for those kind of like lead magnet ads that I'm talking about in this case. Is it stands for SAGE. I learned this from a smart guy named Nicholas Kusmich. And it stands for short, right? It was a single page. It doesn't get any shorter than that. The A stands for actionable, right? You can do something with it. You see, oh, these are the 26 ways to get referrals. I probably should do one or two of these right now. G stands for goal-oriented. And then, obviously, you know, we're doing this to get referrals in this case. And then E stood for educational, which is you read it and you realize you could be doing something better. So when you put those things together, what you'll find is you can create ads with really cool offers that convert like crazy and do it without all kinds of split testing. I'll tell you, this has been a wonderful liberation in our agency, because I used to have to test 8,000 copy and targeting and headlines, and I would just end up with like a lot of mediocre ads that weren't getting anywhere. And now we just write one really good one and it works the first time and makes life a whole lot easier. So I'm not saying I guarantee you're going to do it the first time, but if you just spend a little bit of time, if you spend 2 hours preparing to write a 10-minute ad by researching your group and actually like listening to them, you'll immediately write better ads by just kind of parroting their words back to them and showing them that you've understood them. So hope that's super helpful for you guys. And if you're not already, make sure you subscribe.